My question is, why is everybody going so over the top with this migration detention centers? America has had facilities like this in America for hundreds of years. They had horrible conditions back during the convict lease program. Detention center, why don't you take a look at some of these overcrowded prisons where they're sleeping on top of each other? And it's been that way forever. This deplorable situation did not just start with immigrants, it started long before this. And the entire system is corrupt because, ladies and gentlemen, the same people that own the prisons are the same ones that own the detention centers for migrants. What does that tell you? It tells me nothing but corruption. So when I look at this is why I'm not saying a lot about this situation, because this has always existed in America, y'all. This didn't just start with these migrants or immigrants or whatever you're calling them. The conditions have always been deplorable, even for children in this country. You know, sorry about that. And to add insult to injury, those prison conditions, nobody says anything. Never seen anybody from Congress travel there and talk about how bad the conditions are. But you notice how they all made a beeline to the detention centers, and each one of them want to let the world know how deplorable it is. America is deplorable. It's been deplorable since its inception. So the fact that they got a deplorable detention center, that's the norm here. That's the norm. You know, talk to some of these men and women that are in these prisons behind bars. They can tell you some sick ass stories and how they got people piled on top of each other. That's the way America likes it. Remember, these conditions happen, ladies and gentlemen, because America detains more people than any other country on earth. These detention camps is just another excuse and reason to have more people shackled and behind bars. That's all this country loves to do, is detain something. Detain people, detain animals. That's what they love to do. They have not survived in this country yet without a whole bunch of people being detained. And they don't care how petty the shit is. They'll hold you up for years over some little remedial BS. So let this be a lesson to you immigrants that are coming here. When you come here, America loves to detain things. So you will be detained, especially if they can get their hands on you. But it's very different for you than it was for the former slaves and even of today. Do I think these conditions are deplorable? Yeah. But I also think the prisons are deplorable. So these stories are coming out, and now you got all these people from the UN making comments about the conditions here. And my thing is, where was the UN when all of these black men and women were being mass incarcerated? Where was the UN? Why are you showing up now or making any comments now? So the United Nations Human Rights Michelle Bachelet on Monday said she is appalled by the conditions. Again, Michelle, where the hell were you when our people were being mass incarcerated in conditions equally as bad or even worse? Didn't see anybody from the UN. So, ladies and gentlemen, the whole article just goes over and over about the conditions that these immigrants are in, and um but the bottom line is they have a country to go back to, corrupt or not. They still got a country to go back to. And they don't have to stay in these overcrowded conditions. You got to understand, they're not going to fix this situation because it is another means to discourage these immigrants from coming here in the first place. You come here, you're going to be detained, you're going to be in conditions where you're crowded up with other people. And see, now these immigrants will go back and tell these stories about how they were treated, the conditions, people dying in those conditions, children being separated from parents, and so on and so on. And that's exactly what they want to happen. You notice Trump is not saying nothing about the deplorable conditions. It's mainly the Democrats that usually don't care about us that are making the most noise. Trump hasn't said a word about these conditions. In fact, he thought it was a good thing separating families because he said it could be used as a deterrent for them not to come here. And now ICE is out here rounding people up for deportation that were warned to get out of the country, and they just ignored the warning. So now they are seeking these people out, and they're dead serious. They're going to round up 1 million people and get their asses the hell on out of here. And do you think Trump is concerned about these conditions if he's rounding up 1 million people to get them out of here? Hell no. He's not even talking about it. He doesn't care. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you got this inspector and all these people talking about the conditions, and they're going to be carrying on about this for quite some time. But the bottom line is these folks can go home. Seriously, they can go home. And they don't have to stay here. But they're going to keep coming from their countries to America. And Trump is going to continue to make life very difficult for them when they make it here. I mean, everybody should see what's going on by now. You got to understand, this is an election year. We're entering an election year, and he made promises to his constituency that he would do this, and he's doing it. He's not going to back down now. He's not. One thing about Trump, when it comes down to dealing with these immigrants, this is the one thing he has kept his word on. If he's not kept his word on anything else, this is the thing he's definitely kept his word on, ladies and gentlemen. He's making good on it. But please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I will see you on the next video. Peace, family.